What's going on, guys? This is Burrs. I'm here at the Rockwell Tactical course. This is Carbine 201. I'm here with the lead instructor, Jared Roch. Jared, thank you for your time today and yesterday, of course. So a lot going on in the last 2 days, but what I want to do is kind of get your background and get the audience to kind of know, what's your background as far as being the lead instructor and such.
Been shooting almost my whole life. Started shooting when I was 5, and 9/11 happened. I was working as a manager for UPS, and I thought, hey, it's time for me to go serve my country. I joined the 82nd Airborne, deployed with them a couple of times, and that's where I got my first taste for combat shooting, and they started teaching me. After my second tour with them, I tried out for them, was selected for Special Forces, spent the rest of my active duty career in 5th Special Forces Group. That's where I really learned how to be a shooter with them. Since I left active duty, I joined the National Guard SF. I'm very active with them. I'm one of their instructors for their close quarters battle school. Okay. So that's my background.
As far as Rockwell goes, so you did that, and you're still doing that.
Yes.
Where does Rockwell fall into that, and where did that get formed, and how did that happen?
Around 2007, I came home back to Pennsylvania on leave, and a buddy of mine said, hey, you're getting all this training, can you show me how to shoot? So I went to the range expecting he and me, and it turned out he told his friend, who told his friend, who told his friend, and it was me and 10 other guys. So that was the first unofficial Rockwell class. We started occasionally getting together once or twice a year, and by 2010 we decided we should become legal, so we incorporated, got insurance, and I didn't leave active duty until 2012. So it was 2013, even though the company had been around in name.
Sure.
It wasn't until 2013 we started to go full-time and started doing a wide variety of classes.
Sure. How many classes do you think throughout the year you do on average?
This year we're going to have just a little over 70 live fire classes.
So here we are, we're at Carbine 201. Of course there's prerequisites, oh not prerequisites as you have to take them, correct?
Yeah, as long as you have a level of training, whether it's your own personal training or from other entities, up to a certain standard, then anyone can come into the 201 class. Okay.
So what, if someone was kind of like a beginner, where would they start before going to 201?
We have 2 classes. One is called our Carbine 101 and our 102 class. The 101 is designed for a person who has a carbine, has an AR, they're not sure about it, not sure which end the bullet comes out of. That's a very slow, low pressure class. That's, people can take that. We'll teach them the very beginnings of combat shooting. And round counts around 400 rounds. Okay. The 102 class is a class designed for people who have a little bit more experience, they're familiar with the rifle. We cover the exact same information as the 101 class, but at a much faster pace. We shoot more drills and we shoot about 100 more rounds in that class. That's a good place to start. That'll give you your foundation for combat shooting.
So then here we are, we're at 201. And I'll kind of start from the beginning of the first day and such. So and throughout the whole class, you've talked about principles and truths. So can you kind of go into how that applies to what you're telling the class?
There's the 8 fundamentals or the 8 principles of shooting. The more you understand those truths, the more you understand how to have better trigger control or have a proper stance or breathing, simply breathing, the better a shooter you're going to be. And there's always more to learn. There's always ways to improve those truths. I'm really big on, and we really focus on teaching people those basic truths. Now, caveat with that, techniques. There's a lot of different ways to apply those techniques. Take trigger control as an example. Some people, they want to use the tip of their finger. Right. Other people, if they've got super large hands, it's uncomfortable. They need to get more of their finger in there. It doesn't really matter per se where your finger's at, as long as you have a correct trigger pull, smooth and to the rear without manipulating or fluctuating the pistol of the carbine. Sure. So the 8 principles, 8 fundamentals of shooting are stance, grip, or the way you mount the gun, trigger control, breathing, the sight picture, the sight alignment, the follow through, and then to finish off with the recovery. The more you understand those 8 principles, the better off you're going to be as a shooter. And those 8 principles, they haven't changed from the time of the Revolutionary War when guys run around with muskets. You need to employ those same 8 as today, running around with a Mark 18, laying down. It's the same thing.
Sure, sure. So then moving into the class, the 201 class, here we are. People of all different ranges of knowledge and skill. But what I saw was by the end of the class, everyone was going through the drills, doing a great job. And can you talk about that as far as I would say with every class you have, is it interesting to kind of see how where they start, where they end up?
Yes. Yeah, with open enrollment classes, you're going to get all kinds of people who have a lot of experience or no experience at all. The way we teach, the way we train, we follow like a three-step thing where we show them how to do something, we demonstrate how we do it, and then we give them a little bit of time to try it, and then we add stress. And as we observe them under stress, that's when we can evaluate them. Hey, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong. Give them that feedback, then immediately throw them back into doing it again. And we just keep going around and around. And by following that pattern, we take people, or people have the ability then to manage the stress, and improve and shoot faster and faster and more accurately, and just keep that puppy going, keep that circle going. And as you saw at the end of the day, we had some guys who, this is maybe their second or third class, and when they were very shaky and unsure of themselves at first, they were doing those buddy movements with confidence, and they were getting good solid hits at the end of the day.
Yeah. The other thing you talk about is you want people, so we're talking about the targets, right? So this is something I picked up on because you mentioned it many times throughout the class, because you really want to push people to their limits. You don't want to see people with perfect groupings on everything.
Yes.
You want to see a little bit of, spray, just to notice that, hey, they're really trying, okay, now we're going to dial it back in.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that a little bit with people who are shooting.
So a lot of the shooting that we do, you saw our RTG targets. In fact, you did a review on it.
I did.
So we have all those different shapes. We use that. You can use other things as well, just convenient for us. So we have people shooting at these shapes, and first shooting nice and controlled single shot. Then we have them shoot control pairs at those same shapes, and then usually, as people are taking it slow, working the fundamentals, they've got these nice tight groups. Good. That's what we want you to do, is you work, and as you start to master marksmanship training, or MMS. Now when we start adding the adrenaline, adding the stress, and we want you guys to start shooting faster and faster, too many people are afraid to go out of their comfort zone. Like, well, I'm looking good, I'm getting nice tight groups. If I shoot any faster, they're embarrassed, so they don't want to be that guy. When you come to training like this, you need to push yourself. And that's where we were encouraging. You saw me encourage you to push faster. That's right. This is the place to fail. Better to fail here and learn about it and learn how you can manage that failure and improve than when you're in a real world situation. Right. So we were pushing some people, and a couple of guys I really had to get up in their face, tell them faster, and they finally started sending a couple out. Great. They went to that point out of their comfort zone until they finally came to that fail point. Perfect. Then we can slow them down. We evaluate them and tell them this is how to do it better, this is what you need to do right, and then they can increase that speed. Again, pushing themselves out of the comfort zone. It's, in a way, it's like driving a stick shift. You can only go so fast in first gear before you gotta slow down, push in the clutch, move it in the second, lose a little bit of momentum, and then you're going faster.
That's a good way to put it.
And that's really what we're doing.
So what other classes do you offer?
We offer, as Rockwell, we have a lot of different guys, a lot of different backgrounds and experience. So a lot of us come from the soft community, the Spec Ops community, Green Berets, Rangers, and some other places. So we have a lot of experience. With that, Rockwell offers classes with pistols and carbines, from the most basic to like the ones I described before, which ends the bullet come out of, to pretty much as advanced as you want to take it. We've got more advanced classes than what you did here. This class we call about our medium class. So we have more advanced ones.
Sure.
We also do classes, same thing with shotgun, from most basic to advanced. We do some long-range precision stuff as well. They're trained long-range shooters, and that's their job, is to teach other guys in the Spec Ops community how to shoot long-range. So we have those abilities. We also are really big into tactical medicine, and we have a couple of different tiered classes. One that's basic, how to aggressively treat gunshot wounds or trauma, a day long. Two classes that are multi-days, where you spend some of it live fired to range, where you're eliminating threats, treating patients like an active shooter situation, then you got to eliminate more threats. And then we have a wide variety of seminars. With our background and with our personnel, we have a lot of information, a lot of classes that we can teach. One of our catchphrases that we like to use is, Rockwell is all about getting good training out to good people, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah, that's the other thing I picked up on, was you actually thanked everyone for coming as, just normal people, for the most part. And they're coming and getting trained, and you kind of talked about that a little bit, and that seems to be some part of what your company is about training good people to be ready at a moment's notice, almost like a Minuteman.
Yes, that's right, because all of us, we're all citizens of what I think is the greatest country. And just because I've been there and I've done that doesn't make me any better or have any more rights than anybody else. We're all citizens, and when that moment comes, It could be some housewife who's been to one of our class. She might be the only person there to stand up and stop whatever that situation might be. One of the reasons why we're so passionate and why I'm so passionate about getting training out to good people is, yeah, I've been to combat, I've gone and done things, but one day I left. I went into work, went into Fort Bragg, left my wife and a couple kids at home, and that's when the home invasion took place. And that's when my wife had to grab the shotgun and she had to go and defend the house. So she experienced combat just as real, physically and emotionally, as anything I've experienced. And that really motivated me. My wife was able to defend the kids. I want to make sure that you and other good people have the knowledge and have the skills when it counts to stand up and defend your loved ones.
So here at this 201 class, the thing that I found really interesting, or I don't know if you planned it, but we actually had 2 assistant instructors. So the first day we had Red, and the second day we had another gentleman. So if you want to talk about that as far as like the wealth of knowledge that Rockwell has, and what it offers people as far as the assistant instructors they have.
So like today's class and yesterday's class, our 201 class, it has its set POI, it's set things that we need to teach. But because of our pool of instructors with a lot of different experience, a lot of different backgrounds. Shoot, Red, he just got back from Afghanistan, I think 3 weeks ago. Yep. And because we really are what we say we are, you know, we have that large pool. So as you experience, you had Red, who has his own unique perspective, his own unique experiences, and he's able to take that class. Hey, this is generally how to do it, but my technique, or from my experience, or when I was there, this is what we did, so you get his unique perspective. And then today, when you had the other guy who was there, completely different background, completely different experience, so he was able to give his spin on it. So again, it goes back to one of the things we believe. We teach principles, we treat truths, and then we give you guys all kinds of different techniques and ways to approach it. And what works for me as a technique, and my approach, is going to be a little bit different than Red's, or a little bit different than any of our other instructors.
Right. And the one thing I did notice was, no matter which instructor it was, including yourself, very open to questions or discussion points. If we gotta slow things down because one person needs to work on something, that's perfectly fine. So coming to a class, I didn't feel intimidated at all in any part of the class, you know, yesterday, today. It was really a very, there's a wealth of knowledge out there that, hey, I need to stop and I mean, I even did that today with, what'd you call it? The
broke back?
Yeah, broke back.
Yeah.
So I was challenged with that, you know, and you took your time and helped me out with that. So I didn't feel intimidated at all, and I found that to be somewhat, I wouldn't say unique, but there are definitely some classes you can go to where you kind of, you know, it's kind of like a factory, you know. So I found that really interesting.
That's one thing. We're very selective with our instructors. We really want to make sure that they have the experience. They're self-confident, they know what they're doing, but that humility. We make sure that all of our guys have that humility. I'm just a student of the gun. I don't know it all, and as soon as I start coming across that way, or any one of our instructors coming across that way, that's when we're going to inadvertently start showing disrespect to our students, and we can't do that. I mean, we're very open, very accepting, and like I said before, we're all citizens. You know, we're all equal on that level.
I'm going to put all links down below to Rockwell Tactical's website and then the such. Where you can go out and check out. You have a schedule. It's really cool. They actually have like a digital schedule, so you can go to the different month and see which classes when and sign up and all that. So I'll put that all down below. I thank you very much for your time all weekend long, and putting on a great class. And you want to say anything?
Now I got the. Now I went blank. I was rolling with it. Potato. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
So we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for your time. Comment down below. And see you next time. All right? You did 4 principles?
Yeah, I did 4 principles.
Yeah, if you want to go on to the other.
Okay, so this is for you to edit.